The rule of privity of consideration is not at all applicable in India in view of the clear language used in Section 2D of Indian Contract Act. It's not necessary that a consideration should be furnished by the promisee only. Here in India, a promise is enforceable if there is some consideration for it, and it is quite immaterial whether it moves from promisee or any other person. The leading authority is the decision of Madras High Court in Chennaiya vs. Ramaiah. The facts of this case are: A Madrasi lady gifted away her property to her daughter B and directed B to give an annuity of Rs 650 every year to P. On the same day, B executed an agreement in favor of P, promising to carry out A's directions. B stopped paying annuity of Rs 650 to P after some time, and thereupon P sued B. P's claim was decreed. In this case, it should be noted that although P was a stranger to consideration, because consideration for B's promise to pay Rs 650 annuity to P was given by A, who gifted of her property. But P was not a stranger to contract, and the case was governed by the provisions of Indian Contract Act. Thus, P's claim was decreed. Firstly, the rule in India is that consideration shall move from the promisee or any other person. Secondly, failure to keep promise would have deprived the plaintiff P of an amount which has already received from the old lady. And if a promise causes some loss to the promisee, that is sufficient consideration by the promisee. Thirdly, the deed of a gift and the defendant's promise to pay the annuity was executed simultaneously on the same day, and therefore they should be regarded as one transaction. And there was sufficient consideration for the transaction. Therefore, defendant B was bound to pay. Although the defendant contended that since the plaintiff P himself had furnished no consideration, he had no right of action against her to claim annuity. That is, the defendant pleaded privity of consideration of English law. But her action was not accepted by the court, and it was held that English doctrine of privity of consideration is not applicable in India. It means that under Indian law, a person may not himself give any consideration, but he can enforce the contract if he is party to a contract. In India, the rule stranger to contract cannot sue has to be distinguished from the rule stranger to consideration can sue. Because in India, stranger to consideration can sue but stranger to contract cannot. That is, doctrine of privity of consideration is not applicable in India, but privity of contract is applicable both in India and England.